to live in person, Village of North Hudson Plan Commission, May 19th, 2021. Says 20 on here. So, I guess we'll have a roll call.
Members Anderson,
Present.
Bachman, absent. Howard,
Here.
Chair Miser,
Here.
members Mitchell,
Here.
Schneider,
Here.
Wecken, absent.
Okay, on the agenda tonight, we have 3 public hearings. The first one we're familiar with, it's application to create a 3-lot minor subdivision containing 2 1.05 acre parcels and 1 2.72 acre parcels in the village of North Hudson. Applicant.
Do the minutes first?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Because I didn't have my minutes out, that's why. It's been a long time since we've done that. On the Zoom thing, I'd have everything laid out on my table, I can't do that here.
Second.
Okay, we did have a Zoom meeting on April 21st, 2021, and we had minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Is there a second? Is there any discussion, corrections, additions? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the meeting minutes of April 21st, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The minutes are approved, thank you. Now, we will go to the minor subdivision application. We talked about this once before, I don't know if it was more just of a background thing, but somebody representing?
Yeah.
If you'd like to go up to the microphone and just.
Hi, I'm Paul Goodwin. I'm here on behalf of my late dad, and we live across the street, own this property for, I think it's been 20 years, something like that. Basically our goal is to, have minimum density over there. We don't want a lot of homes on tiny parcels. So this was the plan we came up with Cornerstone, and it's 2 lots fronting Galahad at 143 feet about a frontage, and then a flag lot going to the back and a larger lot at 2.7 acres. It was brought in front of the village engineer and the building inspector, and the one comment from the building inspector was widening the flag portion from 50 feet to 60 feet to accommodate a future public road. And I think that makes sense to us, but the express purpose of us laying it out the way we did is basically to prevent that from happening. So, if it's absolutely required, I suppose we're open to it, but I'd hate to see it be sold and then later cul-de-sac goes in and there's, 3 additional lots. We'd like to keep it low density because my mom lives across the street and,
Okay.
that's,
Before we go to the public hearing, is any questions by the commission members? So we have talked about this before. One thing that did come up was with the flag lot, the turnaround for the fire department, so you're aware of that.
Yep.
For, as Paul explained to us, for when a house is built on the big lot.
yes.
You'd
yep,
have to keep that in mind,
Yes, yep.
right? Yep. Okay. Okay, we will open it up to the public. Thank you. You can sit down,
Great.
Paul. If anyone from the
Could I
public would
ask
like
one
to.
question
Oh,
first?
you got questions? Go ahead.
Because I've driven by it, but I can't figure out how much land is behind it. Why would there be a road? I guess behind your property, Paul,
Yes.
in 4th Street, is there a lot of vacant land there?
There's none, no.
Okay,
So
so
that,
my question is, why would we need a road, a wider road than the 50 feet? So if there's room for a fire truck.
Well, I think that the thought that the building inspector had was if Lot 3 was gonna be subdivided in the future, then that would require a public road in there.
all right,
And the applicant has expressed the desire to not have that happen and purposely making it narrower.
That's right.
Okay.
Be private.
I get it now. I just wanted to ask that question to make sure.
Is there some way they can stipulate that that lot not be broken down?
No, that could come up in the future, right?
That's why I wonder if they
yeah.
could,
They could put some private covenants on it,
yeah.
I would think, and
But right now, if the applicant doesn't want lot 3 to be further subdivided,
Right, he
if it
wants
gets
to
sold
keep
in the future, they'll have to worry about it at that time, right?
yeah.
I appreciate his concern for keeping a low density and understand his reasons, and, yeah, if the road is 60 feet, then it would allow that to happen.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
you know, if he had some covenants with the sale of the property that it not be subdivided, but.
So
then
de facto,
how long
it's
does
not
that
subdivided.
last, you know, because it could be sold to another individual right away, and he could change that, I suppose.
Yep. And then you have to steal 10 feet off a lot too, or whatever, and to get the, or a variance, whatever would be
You could
allowed.
certainly arrange it with covenants to make it difficult to do that, by, making these lots a benefited party to that covenant. So you'd have to get permission from a lot of folks to
Right,
do
right.
that. Nothing's ever forever.
No, that's,
It can certainly be tied up for quite a while.
Any other questions?
No, that was just my question.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to go into public hearing. Is
So move.
there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We're in public hearing at 8 minutes after 7. Anyone from the public want to speak? If you go up to the microphone and name and address and,
Diane Zeiss, 629 Cherry Circle North, just on the other side of where the development will be. I do have to say we have enjoyed those woods for many, many years, and they did do a very nice job of clearing it out. My only question, I just wanted to come in here. My only question was, I didn't do a lot of homework. Is the access only on Galahad Road for those 3 lots, the road that goes in, or is there anything off of Summer Street? I know there are other lots over there. I was just curious. Just Galahad, okay. That was really my only question.
wonderful.
Thanks for coming, though.
And may I exit to go to another meeting?
Sure. Thank you for coming. I'd entertain a motion to come out of public hearing.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We are out of public hearing at 10 after the hour. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Like I say, we have talked about this before. Our job is just to if we were to recommend approval to the village board as the final say. Jessica has put together a suggested motion, an issue statement. It looks good to me. Would anyone like to propose a motion on what to do with
Let's
this?
find
I
it.
have a
Sure.
question for Paul. Are there potential buyers in line, or are you just now?
We won't go to market until after board approval. But we'll list it, shortly after that with Gene Moore here in Hudson.
And then
But no buyers.
what you're going to sell it as with the 50-foot easement with how you're operating it? Or-
I think it'll be a flag lot, so
Yeah.
it won't be an easement, but
or-
yeah, exactly.
But you're gonna, should that be stated in this motion that they want it 50 feet?
It's on the drawing. It's on the,
It'll be surveyed
Okay.
it's all there.
That's part of the lot.
Yeah.
That's right.
And again, as we talked earlier, when they put a house back there, they just have to be cognizant of the turnaround for the fire department, and you'll know all that in the part of the process.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
disclose that.
Yeah.
who was it that made the 60-foot recommendation?
It was Brian Wirt,
Brian Wirt made that, okay.
I don't know if it was, I'm not gonna speak on his behalf, but I don't think it was a hard recommendation, it was just a suggestion.
Okay.
That we don't want there to be a cul-de-sac there in the future.
So you're gonna have to have a cul-de-sac anyways for a fire truck to get back in there, aren't you, now?
Well, you just have to have a turnaround of some
Maybe a
sort.
turnaround.
It doesn't have to be
Just a
paved.
turn-
It can be a private street, but still.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll just be a wide turnaround the driveway
Yeah.
for the house.
Okay,
you
okay,
need to- It could be a hammerhead or something like that,
yeah, okay.
but it can be on private,
Yeah.
driveway.
Yeah, right,
not
right.
28-foot wide public street.
Right.
And that's
No,
the-
no,
that's
no,
the
I
issue
know.
that I think with Brian Word's commentary,
Yeah.
it's not just a 10-foot change in the easement, it's like a, 20-foot change in the characteristic of the road. So that's why I reinforce the 50 foot, I mean, the private driveway is a good alternative for that.
Anything else? Does anyone have a motion?
I would if I could find the page that Jessica wrote it on. Wow, too many pages.
It's the new stuff, maybe like next year.
Oh, there it is. Yep,
In this packet?
the little one, the little, couple pages that were on here.
Oh, yeah, she's got it right
Well,
there.
you can make it.
No,
Is
go
it
ahead.
this
You're
one?
on, you're on.
That's the one. I
Yeah.
shouldn't be on this commission, I'm too old. Let's see, what do I say? Suggested motion, okay, I move to recommend the approval of the three-lot minor subdivision at 642 Galahad Road North with the following conditions. Parkland dedication fees shall be paid prior to the village signing the final CSM according to the current fee schedule. The required amount is $2,000. Individual lot grading and drainage plans shall be provided at the time of building permit application to conform with the adjacent property owners are not impacted by the storm runoff stormwater runoff. Individual lot erosion control plan shall be provided at the time of building permit application to prevent sediment transfer onto adjacent property and village streets during building construction. Lots will be required to hook up to municipal sanitary sewer and water main at the time of building construction. Provide a copy of the final CSM to the village after it's been recorded.
Excellent. Is there a second?
Good job.
I second.
I can read it.
Okay, we have a
I
motion
couldn't
made and
make it up.
seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of approval of the motion as read by Jean, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We have
I
approved
sorta
it. It
am-
will go to the village board.
Does it go with the 50-foot, or do we have to stipulate that?
It's in the drawing.
CSM in the drawing, okay, perfect, okay.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
I remember you from Cub Scouts, don't
Say hi to your
I?
mom.
Apparently.
Haven't seen your mom for a while, so tell her hi. Okay, and Peter too.
Thank you.
Take care.
I and my son were in Cub Scouts together. Okay. Can we combine 5 and 6, or should we do them individually?
We should do them individually, because that's where they're listed here.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, okay. Agenda item number 5, public hearing, possible amendments to chapter 98 zoning, including but not limited to modifying enforcement and penalties, voiding permits, discussion, and possible recommendation. As Jessica said, we have the more recent version of that on our table in front of us in the yellow. Paul, if you'd like to just say a little something about it?
Sure, the purpose of this is to correct some ambiguity and some issues that were discovered when we were talking about enforcement of the CUP on the Riverway ordinance. For instance, the Riverway ordinance referenced a citation ordinance that really didn't exist in the town or in the village. So what these two do is, the first one sets penalties and says that the proper people to enforce it are the zoning administrator and the building inspector. And it sets the penalties, so you don't have to rely on just the general penalties in the ordinance. And then the second one, when we get to it, ties in the actual Riverway section that talks about remedies and penalties to the penalties set forth in the general zoning ordinance category. So it's a cleanup, And it also increases the penalties for zoning violations above what's in the general catch-all section of the ordinance.
Okay. Before we get into any more details, for the folks at home, we have no people in the audience, but we will still call for a public hearing in case somebody comes in the next. Is there a motion?
I'll
We
move
have
for
to do it.
public
Can
hearing.
I ask
Yeah.
a question?
Yes.
Before we go there? I don't think $75 is very much. Anybody that's gonna cut trees
Well,
down
Especially on the river.
It's
on
a
the
road.
river,
That's a minimum.
$75
That's a
isn't,
minimum.
Yeah,
but it-
that's a minimum. It's
up to max,
it's
up to
75 to 1,000, and then that's a daily penalty.
Yeah.
So it can add up pretty quick.
okay.
But I agree, I agree.
I've
That's
seen
the issue
places,
that you
not
have.
here, but other places on other lakes where somebody comes in and just cuts whatever they want and then they pay the penalty because they have money.
And they may do that if they,
And so I just like say this isn't a very big penalty.
but it could be $1,000 a day,
It could be.
Yeah. And that's
depending on
gonna
the
be,
extreme,
yeah.
the degree. I guess it gives the inspector a little attitude as to where to,
Yeah,
because he levies the fine, right? He
Yeah,
would
yeah.
determine the fine amount.
yeah.
But it also, covers more minor things too, where you're not gonna wanna charge them $1,000
Right, a day
a day, yeah.
for the 14 days it takes to remedy it, or whatever, however long, right? I mean, what is, I mean,
Yeah.
So it would be,
it could be 30
somebody
days, it could be,
cut all these trees down and it was noticed. So from that day on until it gets resolved, they're paying each day?
They could be, yeah, you
That
can,
amount
you
of
can
money.
cite them
so you're satisfied
daily.
that it's correct?
No.
Yeah.
It's better. I just,
Yeah,
I don't know, I've just seen places where,
And I've been involved in those in other municipalities with builders that have been violating. And, in those cases, the police officer went out every day, wrote the citation, handed it to the guy, and, they add up. And He ended up paying them, but they add up. And
so it
they-
could be like a setback infringement on
It
a,
was a failure to complete construction of a house. So essentially, it was turning into a nuisance situation.
oh,
Okay, on this, we do need to have a public hearing, or we'll have to have another one sometime.
I
So,
moved to have a public hearing.
is there a second?
second.
All in favor of going into public hearing, signify by saying aye. Aye. We're in public hearing at 19 after. So,
Now let's
again,
listen quietly.
there is no one here. There's a lot of
I
people
move,
outside.
we move out of public hearing.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, all in favor of coming out of public hearing, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, we're out at 20 after. Thank you. More discussion? It's a good range, it's a good latitude of fines, you said.
Yeah, and the board's already looked at this and they came up with the number.
Okay,
So they're gonna be okay when, if you recommend approval.
okay. Is there any other changes, questions, things people want to add to this?
I move acceptance as is.
Okay, there's a motion to accept it as written. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? Any more discussion? All in favor of approval, passing on ordinance number 02-2021 to the village board for approval? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that has been approved. And now, item number 6, public hearing, possible amendments to chapter 98 zoning, including but not limited to modifying violation remedies, discussion, and possible recommendation. That's the shorter one we were given. Ordinance number 03-2021, it's violation remedies is what the subpart is. We can go with some quick questions now, otherwise we'll go to public hearing.
I would move to go on public hearing.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor of public hearing, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are in public hearing at 21 after. Once again, for people who might be watching, it's going to be a short window since no one from the public is here.
I
don't
move to
see
go out of
one.
public hearing.
We have a motion to come out of public hearing and a second. All in favor of coming out of public hearing, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are out of public hearing at 21 after. Thank you. Paul already talked about what this was about. Any questions about it?
so it says the village may also refer violations to the village attorney, and that would be for,
Well, this is the actual Riverway section, one that we're amending here. So in addition to the daily fines, you can seek restoration,
Oh, okay.
injunctive relief, things like that, some mitigation,
okay,
that sort
well,
of
that's a very good point, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, that's what I thought.
Thank you.
Hoping it meant. Okay. Anything else on this? Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second? Okay, discussion? All in favor of approval of ordinance number 03-2021 as written, signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, we will send these on to the village board with no other changes from what they had. Item 7, routine business. Do you have anything, Jessica? Hearing that, Jean,
I move to adjourn.
thank you. Is there a second? Okay, all in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye. Aye. We are adjourned at 23 after. Thank you very much.